We're here with Sam Maggs.
Hi.
Writer, brilliant woman, fearless female, just everything that is excellent in the world is Sam Maggs.
Did you mean Lorraine sing? I think you did. Oh, I got you. I got you.
I'm gonna get out of here. It's so much.
Langston is also great.
Fine. Also,
You're
No.
You're
I feel
great.
like I'm
You
sitting
guys
with
so
two of the
much.
faces on like the Mount Rushmore of like women
Redheads.
nerd right now.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like,
I
I just want to sit here and be like, do you need anything?
Well, first of all, I just have to congratulate you because I haven't seen you in person since you announced your IDW title, Marvel Action Captain Marvel. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Tell us everything about it.
I am so excited. So Carol Danvers has always been my favorite superhero, like way back since she was Ms. Marvel. As a wedding gift, my husband got me her first appearance in like a comic book. Like I'm really obsessed with her. So
That's also a good get.
hard to live up to. She's always been my favorite, and so the opportunity to tell a Carol story is like,
I actually don't really know anything about K-pop. I'm not in the K-pop fandom. I'm not a part of the army. I have a ton of friends who are K-pop fans, and I like some K-pop songs, but that's about the extent of my involvement with K-pop fandom. However, I want to say that I am a fan of K-pop fans because they're doing so much good through fandom. They're like mobilizing and undergoing all this like amazing political action, utilizing their fandom for good. I think a lot of you know what I'm talking about, like mobilizing on Twitter and TikTok to like mess with politicians. I think it's amazing that they're using their powers of fandom for the greater good. So I am a huge fan of K-pop fans. Keep doing what you're doing. It's amazing. Also, they all seem really friendly and open-minded and just...
there have been a lot of times where I've been treated differently on the internet just because I'm a girl. I mean, being a girl on the internet comes with a certain amount of danger or downsides and bummer things. There can be people who don't like what you have to say, who don't want you to say what you have to say. But the really important thing to do is just to remember that there are whole communities of other girls and other women who are out there to support you on platforms like Tumblr, Twitter, social media, blogs, websites, even like in person in your communities.
Well, Roger, in the world of gaming, modifying characters is actually a common thing, but these cases are extreme. These hackers, they're taking control of games being played online and they're staging these violent attacks.
Online, they can take your character, lock them in place, have made their character pantsless, and then can simulate sexual assault with your character, and you are helpless to stop it.
The graphics are so good, this attack is eerily realistic.
Deplorable and should not be allowed anywhere. Like, they should be banned off the servers immediately.
And Sam Maggs, an avid gamer and blogger, tells me in some cases these hackers, also known as modders for modifying the game, will talk to victims on their headsets during the attacks.
When you can hear the person on the other end who's saying these things directly to you and they're saying them directly to you, that's a whole other level of harassment, really.
Playing online over a year ago because of what she calls a misogynistic mentality that already exists in the world of gaming. And she says these new rape scenes only illuminate that.
It's violating, it's triggering for people who have survived assault in the past. It's a visual representation of all that terrible verbal stuff that you get as a woman online.
I'm not afraid to tell you that I cried when I saw it on the con floor like a cool kid in front of everybody. For me, honestly, it was actually Zora, the Afghanian women's orchestra that's operating right now.
That one didn't age quite so well.
Of women throughout history in science, technology, engineering, math, invention, espionage.
It's been really exciting. I'm working with Sweeney Boo as an artist,
Nice.
who's just fantastic. She gives Carol these like amazing thighs. I just want her to like crush me with them. Like, yeah.
She's like,
I feel really fortunate to be able to be on so many teams of really great people, you know, both men and women. But I think that gaming is like any other sort of nerd industry, you know, for a really long time. It was a lot of guys and a lot of like it was a very homogenous field. And I think we're at a really great time now where we're starting to see a lot more diversity, both on the screen in terms of characters and representation, but also behind the screen in terms of creators. Because for me, you know, the most interesting stories come out of a diversity of experience. So my experience is going to be different than a woman of color. You know, I'm
A lot that you maybe haven't heard of before, like Echo, who is, you know, half Native American and is deaf, and that's like one of her superpowers, basically.
On opening night for Endgame. Like, that has stuck with me so deeply. I just see a clip from that movie now and I burst into tears. Like,
I think it's really nice to see myself on the screen in a bunch of different ways, and I'm
Supernatural. You knew it had to be in here. You knew it had to be in here. It's one of the biggest and most intense fandoms I've ever been a part of, but I respect it deeply. Of course, there's a ton of amazing fan art and fan fiction, of which I have read a ton, and they're very famously in this fandom are ship wars. I am a Destiel fan. It's okay if you're not. I'm not here to fight with you about it. But the most impressive part of Supernatural fandom, I think, and the part that is my favorite, are the really in-depth episode analyses that you can find online where people break down like basically every beat of every episode and look at them through a critical lens or through a, like, you know, ship particular lens or a character lens, and just break down every aspect of that episode in relation to what they're looking for. People could write dissertations on the subtext in Supernatural, and they basically have. I'm sure they actually have.
Equal parts incredible and terrifying for me. Like, I really want to do her justice. I respect her history and her story so much. Kelly Sue's run on Carol Danvers is like one of my favorites of all time in comics. So
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.